Hello students, today we are going to discuss Unit 3 in English of the 12th standard Deep Water, which is written by William Douglas. William Douglas was born in Maine, Minnesota, and his time was 1898 to 1980. Actually, in this story, Douglas talks about the fear of water, how he finally overcomes it with strong will, power, courage, hard work, and firm determination. Once he took courage, the fear was vanished, and that shows most of our fear are baseless in our life too. If we think and if we just peeped into the past when we were young or in the earlier part, some of the fear when they were haunted on us. But now if we think regarding all those fear, today we will fear as baseless, because fear creates dangers where there is none, and the writer's experiences further confirm the proverbial truth: where there is a will, there is a way. So, this is the proverb, because if you have a will, if you have a determination, there is always a way, there is always a solution. Now, here in this story, we will go for some of the character. Which are these character and place? Here, character is Douglas, the narrator of the story, and the pool, YMCA pool. It is a swimming pool run by the Young Men's Christian Association, and Yakima. Yakima is a US city located about 60 miles southeast of Mount Rainier in Washington. Now we shall discuss the summary. What actually the summary is. Now here we will go for the story. Deep Waters tells us how the writer overcome his fear regarding the water, and how he learned swimming with sheer determination and the willpower. If we have the sheer determination, if we have the willpower, we can overcome any kind of the situation in our life. But for that, you will have to work hard. Otherwise, if you don't have the willpower, you cannot reach the top. And the only difference from the successful person and the person who are not succeeded in the life is the only willpower and the sheer determination. So he developed terror of water since childhood. When he was 3 or 4 years old, the writer had gone to California with his father. One day on the beach, what happened? A wave knocked the child or writer down and swept over him. The child was terrified, but the father, who knew that there was no harm at all, that is why his father was laughing. But this experience put and left a big impression, and the writer was really left in terror, and the experience bred a permanent fear of the water in child's subconscious mind. Still another an incident, in other words we can say, that was more serious, and it has already increased his terror. The writer was trying to learn swimming in YMCA swimming pool. You will have to write down and you will have to keep in your mind the word YMCA swimming pool, which is situated in Yakima, because it will be asked in the MCQ so many times. And one day while he was waiting for the other boys, what happened? All of a sudden a big boy suddenly played a dangerous prank on him, and pushed him into the water. What a prank! Such type of the prank we should not do with any person in our life, because writer was not knowing the swimming and now he was in underwater. The writer was terribly frightened. He went down 9 feet into the water. Again, how long? 9 feet into the water. When he reached the bottom, he jumped upward with all his strength. He came up very slowly. He tried to catch hold of something like a rope but grasped only at water. So he was working too much hard to come out of the water as he didn't know swimming. He tried to shout, but no one was there, so no sound came out. And he went down again and again deep into the water. Now, what happened? His lungs were aching, his head throbbed, and he grew dizzy. He felt paralyzed with fear. All his limbs were paralyzed. Only the movement of his heart told him that he was alive. Actually, the whole thing was against him. Now what to do in such type of the situation he didn't know, because only the movement of the heart was telling that he was just alive. Otherwise each and everything was becoming and making him paralyzed because of the fear. Again he tried to jump up, but this time his limbs would not move at all. He looked for ropes, he looked for ladders, and he even looked for water wings, but everything was in vain. Then he went down again, and now it was the third time, and this time all efforts and fear ceased. He was moving towards peaceful death. Now he was feeling that now the death is nearer. That is why it was considered as the peaceful death as he was moving towards. The writer was in peace. When he came to the consciousness, he found himself lying on the side of the pool with the other boys nearby. The terror that he had experienced in the pool never left him. It had a big impression on subconscious mind of the writer. It haunted him not only for a days, not only for months, for years it had haunted him, and it spoiled many of his expedition of canoeing, expedition of swimming, expedition of fishing. Everything was now in vain because the terror he was feeling while fishing, while swimming and canoeing. That is why he was not interested, and he was so much terrified that he was not able to go into the river or lake or ocean or sea. And that is why everything was spoiled. His pleasure in main lakes, New Hampshire, Deschutes, Columbia, and Bumping Lake, each and everything, all this, he was helpless to come out of this fear. But the writer was determined to conquer his terror. He took the help of swimming instructor to learn swimming. The instructor taught him various actions necessary in swimming part by part, and he put his face under water and exhaled. So now, because of the coach had taught each and every training. So how to come out the face underwater and exhaled and inhaled, raising it above the water. He practiced it for several weeks. He had to kick with his legs a few weeks on the side of the pool. At last, he combined all these actions and made the writer swim. He learned swimming, but the still that terror, that was the bad experience of the pool, now still continued. So whenever he goes deep, his childhood experience really again on his forehead. So fearful, tearful is the fear of the fear. Whenever he was in water, the terror always returned, and henceforward the writer tried to terrorize the terror itself. Now he was determined, anyhow, he want to learn the swimming. So he tried to face the new challenge in the life, especially regarding the swimming. In our life too, such type of the challenge are always standing in front of us, and we will have to cope with it in any condition, in any situation. Because when terror came, he confronted it by asking it sarcastically as to what it can really to do him. He plunged into water as it to defy the fear, because he started to practice and he tried to fear the fear, and that is why he plunged into the water to swim again and again. And once he took courage, the terror vanquished. He faced the challenge deliberately in the various places like Warm Lake, and he conquered it at last. What a story! What a story of the courage! Because he finally overcome it, and the autobiographical part of the selection supports his discussion of the fear. A first-person narration of the personal experience and account of the steps taken to overcome it make this essay very quite interesting. Really, it is a very, very beautiful story.